this new normal.
What's going on? What's good? It's your favorite host, Kellen Outlaw, and my co-host, my beautiful beloved wife,
Zoe B.
Lastly, our co-host,
Bubby.
And this is the New Norm Podcast. We wanted to talk about a recent tragic event in our lives, talking about being newlyweds, traveling around as a military family, and what can affect these things. Plus, the effect that social media has on our lives and other Gen Zs out there today. Well, let's get into this video. Tell the people about yourself.
Okay. What's up with y'all? My name is Zoe. I just turned 23. A little bit about myself. Let's see. I've moved around a lot. Not a military brat. Grew up in Memphis, Arizona, New Mexico. A little bit of everywhere. Seen quite a few places. Because I had some stuff that I wanted to get into later on that kind of that I don't want to say until we get into it. So.
Okay.
And then we should talk about like how long we've been married and stuff.
No, that's what you want to talk about.
That's how I want us to introduce us, but I didn't want to say it.
All right, guys, I am Kaylin, last name Outlaw. This is my wife again, Zoe Outlaw. We have been married for a year, been together going on 4 years, man. It's been great. I am the age of 23. She is the age of 23. My birthday is in December. Crazily enough, man, I am a twin as well. All righty. Hopping into the very first topic of the day, man. Let's get into growing up. How was it growing up for you?
Damn, how deep do we want to get? Do I want to trauma dump on here? What do I? I don't know. It's pretty rough for me growing up. Let's see. We moved around a lot. I found a trauma dump like that. There was a lot of abuse in our household, which was a majority of the reason why we moved around. I don't really have a good relationship with any of my family now. Let's see. We're homeless a good majority of the time. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, there were some rough moments. I mean, like, of course, that shit's really bad, but I mean, I turned out pretty great. And look where I'm at now. Like, I'm really, if you look at it, living like the best life I could live with all of the shit that I dealt with and went through. Like, married, happy. We bought our first home together. We have a puppy together. Like, yeah, we're going through and dealing with stuff, but I mean, yeah, it was a little rough, but.
Is that it, Miss Ma'am?
Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna delve into.
Alrighty, man. First off, man, growing up for me, it was a coast, man. It was a coast. We came from a great background. Me and my brother, we had a close-knit family. We had a family street actually. So, man, I just remember the days once we used to kick back, go running down the street, playing football every single day from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. getting yelled at that, hey, it's time to come back in the house. Have you lost your mind? Like, we don't got school, staying up till 4 in the morning with our cousins playing the game. Man, it was great. Four-wheeler riding. There's nowhere I choose other than the South, man. The South is where it's at. No disrespect to you suburbians. You dig what I'm saying? But, man, the South is great. It was really a good childhood, man. Like, when I say we did any and everything from stupid to stupid to stupid again, it's been crazy. We've jumped ramps, we've jumped poles with a bike and landed on our face and got back up and did it again. Like it didn't hurt the first time, like it was gonna hurt less the second time. And man, we grew up watching dirt bike racing, car racing, everything. Like, for the longest, I think we went 3-4 years dang near without watching TV. That's how much we were outside. It's crazy, man. Because, nowadays, it's so many kids who are in their phones, get iPads at the age of 3 and 4, and that's all they know. Don't go outside because it's dangerous. But, man, going outside actually makes you tougher. The more scrapes, the more bruises, the more falls, the more experience you have with failure and dangerousness and life, man, it really helps you out in the long run, especially in the adult years. I don't know about with them bills. But it make you see a different perspective of stuff.
I don't even know about like 3 and 4. Like there's literally we've seen it. You know how like Miss Rachel and stuff like as little itty bitty babies like they're automatically getting phones pushed in their face, and then that's what it takes to calm them and soothe them, and then they're less likely to go out and engage and go make friends
But
in
Miss Rachel
person.
good
Like
though.
yeah, okay, but that's just a
I've seen a few
technology
Miss Rachels. I
thing.
done learned a little something. Right?
I'm just saying the technology like side of it, where it's like okay, I don't know. That's not how it used to be. You used to put them in the jumper or a bouncer or whatever and play a little music and do what you can to soothe them. But now it's like you put a phone in front of them and that's the answer for everything. Like you get a bad kid and instead of finding something that's engaging and like helping them grow and learn in a productive way, you just put YouTube in front of them.
I can see that. I could definitely see that. But you know, like you got stuff like Barney. Does Barney even still play?
I don't think that's a thing anymore. I don't think so. I haven't heard of Barney. In a
What's
long
that other
time.
one with Big Bird? Sesame Street, bro. It was so
Sesame
much.
Street is very good education.
Like growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch like Adult Swim, but I don't feel like I missed out on anything at all, man.
I debate with you on that. Like, of course, Adult Swim is not good for kids, but those are some like I don't know. No, you're not supposed to learn from Adult Swim. But I'm just saying, like, okay, yeah, Sesame Street cartoons and stuff. I kind of get even Miss Rachel, like Coco Melon, that stuff. Those are educational, like they're made to engage with kids. But I'm talking about like people just like 5, 6 year olds. They'd be like, oh, they'll just throw YouTube in front of them, and those kids can look up whatever. They'll be watching like shit about Minecraft or whatever it be. Like that's not engaging. That's okay. Well, I could just sit here in front of a TV or play a game at a young age, and then you don't get that. Like I feel so old sometimes saying it, but like, well, I think we were talking about it physical therapy the other day, and it was like, yeah, we actually had the freedom. Like, as crazy as like my childhood was, once we moved to Memphis, like we had like we had neighbors, kids that were our age, and well, I grew up. Oh, I didn't even say that. I grew up. I have 2 younger sisters and a little brother, as well as an older sister, and we all grew up together. And honestly, we were very close. So we all, I mean, we got a pretty. That's why I say it wasn't that bad. Like we had bikes and stuff to ride. Like my parents did try to provide for us, like help us as much as possible. Have a normal childhood. So I was like, we used to have neighbor friends. We would literally, our parents, they'd be like, oh, when the street lights come on, we'd be out all day on our bikes. We'd be going to the corner store. We'd take walks as a family down to the street, down the street to the little gas station on the corner, a whole bunch of stuff. We would just be out all day, all night, going crazy, riding bikes up and down the street. Like, I don't know. I didn't get no good country experience. We didn't do nothing crazy like jumping ramps. Like, no. We used to ride motorcycles with my uncle. I mean, normal kids stuff. That was normal kids stuff. But we were outside.
Like y'all, I remember this one time me and my brother's name is Devin, by the way. For Christmas, we got a 4-wheeler, a Kindle Fire. Well, we both got Kindle Fires, and we both got bow and arrows. And the first thing my stepdad said to Devin was, he said, "Don't go out there and shoot the arrows in the sky. They come down and they can hit somebody." We go outside. I kid you not. And mind you, we're like 13, 14 at this time. So this ain't like 7 and 5. You dig what I'm saying? So we go out there. The first thing he does is shoot the arrow. That thing lands not even 5 inches away from me. Oh my goodness. Oh, it was funny. Devin ran around that yard from here, there, yesterday, and tomorrow. You dig what I'm saying? No, but that crap was funny, man. We had a lit childhood.
Honestly, I'm experiencing stuff. Since we've been together, like I've never gotten to go like what is it, mud riding, all of that stuff. Like all the country stuff they did growing up is new to me. Like I still feel like a child being able to experience it the first time. That shit is hella fun. It's really cool to get to experience for the first time, and people are like, oh, okay, you just get out there to get dirty and have fun and go crazy. That's literally it. There's no purpose. That's it.
Oh, back to my childhood as well. As far as my upbringing, I do come from a 2-parent household. So I stayed with my mom and dad. They separated, but my dad was like kind of still in and out of my life. And then as I grew older, we had a stronger relationship and connection, and we're still in touch. But I had a stepfather figure in my life who was a great role model growing up. He taught me a lot of mechanics. I remember being like 4 and 5, riding four wheels. We tear them up. He has us changing our own bike tires and teaching us how to flush the fuel system out of a four wheeler. Like, I'm not really ever gonna do this. I'm gonna call you, but I appreciate you for teaching me. You know what I'm saying? But it's those little things, man, that really go a long way in your life that you learn at such an adolescent age that you don't think you'll remember. But you're like, dang, I learned that so long ago, but I've applied it to my life. What, 15, 20 years later?
Hmm. There's a lot of stuff like that my dad taught me, especially being like a girl. Like he had majority girls. He had one boy. Like I have a half brother, but he had one boy that grew up with us. So he's like his big thing for us was like, oh, okay, we'll never need a man to take care of us essentially. So my dad taught us how to change tires, all of that stuff. Like I know how to sew, I know how to do body work. Like if I wanted to, I could paint a whole car. He used to joke. He'd be like, "Oh, if we ever committed a crime or whatever, we could paint our own car and have it a different color the next day."
Mm.
I'd be like, there's a lot of stuff. I was like, we were just talking. I was like, yeah, do you know how to do? Because there's stuff that like he knows that I might not know, and that I know that he might not know, or especially like skills and stuff that I was taught and have applied and have felt proficient in that he doesn't. But that we haven't actually run into anything like that yet.
Yeah.
He knows a good bit.
For real, I was trying to think of what you were talking about. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let you take that one.
No.
Take that one with the wind, Rudolph.
I mean, I know how to sew. I know how to do a lot of stuff. Like I can make stuffed animals. No, I can sew actual clothes.
Cap.
Cap?
That's what we call that.
What do you mean? I just don't do
You
it.
make
I know
stuffed
how to
animals?
do it. Yeah,
$100. $100.
Alright.
Okay.
it's not gonna be cute. I can make
Y'all
it.
see it? Yeah. She just shook with her left hand, bro. Criminal. That's a criminal offense. Hey, man, how many of y'all know how to change y'all's oil? Or change your tire?
I don't think I actually know how to. Well, okay, I know how to change my oil, but I've never really done it. Like he showed me one time, and I think that was it. It was mostly like stuff that'll get me like stuck on the side of the road for a man to take advantage of me. And dirty oil, I don't think is gonna do that.
You don't think dirty oil is going to
I
do
won't
it?
let it get to that point. But I'm just
What if
saying
your motor
a
lock up?
tire. Fuck it,
Your
bro.
car can't move.
I guess I'd be calling an Uber.
Bro, they didn't have Ubers back then.
Back when, girl, you're the same age as me. Back when.
Back then.
Yeah, they had what did they have back then? Taxis, brother.
No.
Who does that? Yeah, okay. Oh, they don't have taxis nowhere else. That's just how they call taxis in New York. You've been scammed. Just because
No.
you grew up way in the middle of nowhere.
Never seen a
Yeah.
taxi a day before in my
Yeah,
life.
you call taxis. Normal. Phone. Anyway,
Let's talk about school.
school. Ooh. Do you want to start or you want me to start?
Mm. Mm.
Oh, okay. Oh, school has honestly always been my favorite thing ever. Like, honestly, because my home life was kind of rough, where I got the most praise from my dad was at school. I've always been like an honor roll student, like super good at school, always doing the most like I can to be involved in school, extracurricular activities and everything. Like I was like the highest like president you could be, like in freaking elementary school. I don't know.
Valedictorian?
Well, I was valedictorian in 5th grade, but no, it was like a council thing or whatever. But it was in elementary school. But actually, that's also a traumatic memory. I made valedictorian in 5th grade, and then we ended up moving literally that day. And I got this cute little snow globe thing that had my name on it and everything that said valedictorian. And yeah, I tried putting it in a car, which there was space for it, let me just tell you. And my dad told me that I had to leave it. And there wasn't room for that shit. And I don't know why, but I randomly been thinking about that shit. I'm like, why would you do that? Like, it kind of makes me, like, sad a little bit. I'm like, you look around and, like, how close he is with his family and the stuff that they kept. and everything. It's like, okay, he's got stuff from them from when he was younger that his mom has kept and has, and I'm like, dang, like I got nothing except for when we first met. Everything that I've accrued since then. But I don't know. I think once I started growing up more, like what I think sophomore year, I just started to really like slack at school, and it was just about passing. And then instead of going to college, you know, as much as I really kind of wanted to, where my head was at and wanted to push myself through, I ended up joining the military. Not necessarily because I wanted to, but that's what I ended up doing. Which honestly, I do think is better on the trade side. But I'm taking classes and stuff now to get a certification that I really want to get. So that's
What
kind of where I'm
certification
at.
is that?
For sonography, I'm just gonna get a certification for basic sonography. But then I think it'd be really cool. Like I've been learning a little bit about it now to go into once I get the experience that I need to be able to go into cardiac sonography.
For those who don't know what is sonography.
Oh, it's ultrasound. It's ultrasound tech. So the people like when you go into like the doctor's office and everything and they put the oil, it's not just for babies, like not the oil. They put like a gel on you. Like they do that for like your heart. What else do they do it for? I know they do it for your heart. Of course they do it for
Muscles.
babies. Yeah. I was like they literally use ultrasound to see so much stuff. So I just think it's really cool. Of course there's a lot of stuff and experience that you have to have before, and I think there is some on the job experience that they want you to have before you can get to being a heart sonographer or ultrasound tech. So that's what I'm working towards now. Hopefully, I'm trying to have the basic sonography certification before we get out, which will be in 2026 or maybe 2027. I might extend. We'll see where we're at.
School for me, complete opposite.
Literally.
Complete opposite. We were always rode hard about grades, but I think gratefully, my parents were always realistic, because my parents weren't all A, top scholar people in school. So, not that I wasn't held to that same standard, but it wasn't like, oh, if you don't have an A, I'm crying because I got an 89. Oh no. Or an 81, an 83, a 77, a 79. It'll fly. Long as it wasn't an F, it would fly right on. But even school was lit. I'm not gonna say I learned much. I kid you not. I don't know how much of school I apply to my life now, but
Literally.
back then it seemed very pointless. I wanted to be everywhere but in that desk. I'd go and stand up at the pencil sharpener and get in trouble for
how
talking.
many times have I heard that story?
Yeah, just did that one.
No,
But yeah, school was not hard though. Like every time I applied myself, because I only really applied myself for the test. You know what I'm saying? The grade that really mattered. Y'all ever been in that position where it was like you're looking kind of shaky and you just had to come in the clutch with the test. I was the come in the clutch with the test guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was the one who, if it was sitting at a 79 and you needed an 81 to get to that, you did. Yeah, one call. That's all. That was me. Me and my brother never got the same class. We got the same class for like 1 year, and it was only one class. And they said, "Yeah, we're not doing this again." But we had so many friends in school. Everybody knew us. We were twins. We were funny. So it was like all his friends was my friends. All my friends was his, and man, we had a damn ball.
Yeah, but it was really because them two together are bad. BAD.
Just be vibe between.
Yeah, okay. Something like that. They feed off each other. So one's going crazy and the other's going crazy. One can't just be mellowed out. They can't be the neutral party. Nah, they both got to be on 10.
Alrighty. So why y'all are here and why we are here to talk to y'all, man. Well, let's explain why we named this podcast The New Norm. Alrighty.
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
So what brought us here? June 13th, 2024, I lost my twin brother to suicide, man. My twin brother took his own life, and it's very hard to deal with. One, not only being a twin, but suicide just in general for anybody, man. Especially nowadays, it's hard for anybody. And I don't feel like enough people are speaking out. I can't say not enough people are listened to, but not enough people are judging their own mental health and making sure they're straight. And how social media has it now is giving up is the easier option if it doesn't go bad, or if it goes good, it's still like, hey, I don't feel like I served the purpose that I wanted to serve. So, this is my only way out. But, not to say, I don't want to say suicide is selfish, but the act of committing to suicide for me is selfish, especially in the position that I'm in, because may not be for y'all, but for me, growing up with somebody for 22, 23 years, day in and day out, every single day, that's your best friend, your twin brother, somebody you talk to every day, man, and just to have that rip from you, and you don't get a last call, you don't get a last text, you don't get a goodbye, you just get the news, and the news is what just takes you downhill, man, and it really makes for a rough future if you allow it. It makes a lot of bad decisions, a lot of I wouldn't say regret, but a lot of, you feel like it's a lot of pointless stuff. Makes you look at things a lot differently. Like, for those of you who may be out there who've lost their mother or their grandma who was close to them, or their dad, or somebody of significance who was close to you, you understand the feeling, and like right then and there you're like, what do I do from here? How do I live? What am I supposed to figure out? I didn't see this coming. We never see it coming, and with suicide, the thing is, it's so preventable that you can do nothing but ask questions. Not that asking questions is right, but you can think of a million different things and a million different reasons of what you could have done, what you should have done, but who knows that answer but the man up above himself, And for those of you who aren't spiritual, whatever it is that you believe in or may not believe in, there's some type of way that you've been connected to somebody and you may have lost them, and it's from that point is, for me, I feel like it's time for you to tune in and tap in with yourself and make sure that you're doing okay. Communication after any death is the hardest thing. Talking about it, feeling like people can relate to you or people understand your pain, because everybody to me is going to feel like nobody understands their pain. Of course, I have a twin brother. There's not a million twins out here, so I never felt like really anybody could understand what I was going through. And then just listening to my mom, my role model, my superhero, listen to her just break down and cry and question herself and wonder all these things and question everything that happened and what she could have done better. It gives you a different perspective on, maybe am I being selfish in my own emotions, and not what's the word I'm looking for?
You have to describe that.
Like,
Being empathetic?
Yeah, and it's like kind of forgiving, like we both understand what happened, but it's like, I know that you his mom, I know that I'm his brother, like, I'm no better than you in this situation, you know better than me, like along those lines. But it was definitely that, man, and I had a lot of animosity. I remember going to view my brother's body, and so currently I'm all the way up in Texas, originally from Georgia, and the night before this happened, I am actually a streamer. on Twitch, and my brother, he would pull up to my streams and he sit in there and just watch me play. And man, it was fun, and it's something I like to do. Streaming, playing games. Why not? Who doesn't love to sit in their house and have a good time? Who really wants to go to work? You know what I'm saying? But most definitely,
You're talking about the night before.
yeah. My brother was in my chat, and once you get into like kind of like life after death and all the things that you wish you could have done, and what could you have seen, or how would you have known, especially when it comes to suicide. He It's this song called "I'm a Mess" by Anthony Hamilton. Now should I listen to it? It's a great song, actually. Song is hard out, but that was the last song my brother had me play before the next day he decided to take his life, man. And it's something I would have never seen coming. It's honestly something that would have never alarmed me, because we both listened to the song. We're old souls, man. We grew up around older people, though we had a younger crowd around us most of our childhood. Younger for us, while we were 10, younger was 16 and 17, and then our uncles and everything, that's 30, 40, 50-year-olds who you're constantly around all day. So old school music background is just nothing we would have ever picked up on. And I feel like, with those hidden signs, you never really know, man. You never really know when it's somebody's time. It's somebody's time, regardless of if you feel like it's their time or not. I am no one to say whose time it is, because if it, being real, every human will want every person who they loved dearly to live till 1,000, but that's not realistic. So there's a time, there's a day, man. Just appreciate the time that you did get to spend, and learn how to be more appreciative of the things that you do have, man. There's so many people who I feel like don't understand the great grace of even having a roof, a fan, a car, a phone, something to cover up with at night, food to eat, this gaming room, all these amenities, man. Yes, it comes from hard work, but man, without certain leadership in your life, man, it's so many places, honestly, you can't go, especially for those people who had to grow up at such a young age and never really got to just enjoy their childhood, because they were either raising their brothers and sisters, or had to watch, in her case, like abuse, or you watch your mom and dad fighting or running in and out the house. All that is trauma. All that is stuff that you don't really see, but it consumes you to the point to where you don't know that that's the energy you're exuding. And therapy, man. Therapy helps. Therapy is needed. I feel like therapy should be mandatory in America for each and every single human being. It's enough therapists, it's just the responsibility of the human himself and or herself, who should know that, hey, I need to go get help, not just for suicide, but once it's something you're battling and you don't think it's something you can overcome, talk to a professional who could help you and or guide you in a better direction than either ending up dead in jail or anywhere else that's not the path that you like to be on. Input?
Yeah. So in the beginning, I'm gonna say he was saying, yeah. So in the beginning, he was saying like, I like in confidence just had like a friend who is going through, and of course this was after everything happened, which I'll get into, but who's going through something that can be seen as difficult, right? It can be seen as difficult because it's not where they want to be. It's not where they want to be going. It's not the path that they wanted to be on. So it's like all of these things are going against them, and they have no control, and they kind of feel hopeless. But if you turn that around and you just see, it's like, okay, well, you already have this job lined up. And it's like, okay, you have a place that you can stay. Okay, you have family who talk to you. You have places that you can go. Like, It's not that bad. You have like no, it's not where you want it to be. But for you to be like, okay, I've just really been contemplating that when there's so many positives, like I genuinely understand and be like, okay, like I feel like a lot of people have like suffered from depression. Realistically, when I first joined, it was something that I struggled with because yeah, the military can be good for you, but it's not what I wanted to be doing. I had a plan for myself and my life, and I felt like I was forced and pushed into a lifestyle in a way that I did not want to be, and I just felt alone and by myself and isolated, and I felt hopeless at that point. So it's like I understand getting to that point, but it's just like you honestly have to turn around and be like, okay, everything is not gonna go the way that you want, whether you have control over it or not. Like it's not realistic for you to plan out your life and everything go according to that plan. That don't mean that you should take away the chance or the opportunity for things to turn out better than you could have planned for. Like that's not fair to the people around you who invest in you, and that's not fair to you at all. But then going into kind of what he was saying about like the relationship and being able to like communicate after you lose somebody, like honestly that's something that I feel like has taken a toll on us. Like honestly, we just moved in together in May, and literally the next month, that was something life changing happened. And for us, I've known, so because of the relationship with my family, I as soon as we met, Devin was my family also. Like I have absolutely clung to his whole entire family and tried to bond with them, and that's been my family. So of course it was an important like big loss for me too. And so it's just been, it took a toll on us being able to talk about it and relate, because it's like, okay, I don't want to say something that, no, I don't understand that you're how you're feeling. I cannot imagine like a loss like that. And it's like, okay, tiptoeing like, oh, he's not gonna say anything or talk to me because, oh, you can't understand, you don't understand. Like it's always gonna be like, you didn't know him how I did. Or it's like me talking to him, it's like, okay, I don't really know what to say, how to initiate that conversation. I don't know if it's insensitive, so it just comes to avoiding it, and that just avoids you dealing with the feelings. It's like, okay, you're not really talking, I can't comfort you, I'm not comforting you, I'm not trying to comfort you because I'm not trying to face it and deal with it. And then that leaves him to try to deal with it in silence, and that really just, I feel like that really just builds resentment on both sides. And it's like, okay, I can't talk to her, I can't come to her. It's like, but even if I did, she wouldn't understand. And it's like, okay, I can't say anything, so I'm just feeling this and feeling it heavy. And so it just came to a lot of like butting heads and everything. And it's like, okay, I don't know what I can say because did I know him like that? And it's like, okay, I honestly feel like because I didn't know him as long, there is no like real relatability. Like I'm like, oh, okay, I knew a different like, and I didn't get the time that they got in the way that they got. So there's a lot of comparison and guilt, especially with where I let our relationship be, like where he was saying like being thankful and grateful. But it's just like you honestly just have to. There's that thing. It's like you never really know when you're gonna lose somebody, ever. And it's like sitting there and be like, okay, not holding grudges. It's like, okay, appreciating those relationships and not taking like advantage or taking them for granted. Like, talk to those people. Yeah, you might have a lot going on in your life, but it's like, send a message, text back when you can, like call real quick to check in, be like, hey, I was thinking about you. Just any little thing like that might be, not to let that feed into guilt if anybody's dealing with anything, but somebody can use that check-in to feel important, to feel like they're thought about and cared about from somebody. So it's like, just like all of the stuff that he was saying. Oh, I lost my train of thought, girl. But yeah, dang. I was like, I had to keep talking because if I stop, but okay.
So another smaller topic in correspondence with that, we want to talk about coping, man. Coping with grief, coping with a loss. There are a million ways not to cope, and there are a few ways to cope. You know what I'm saying? Um, if you're grown, if you're not, ways not to cope: drugs, anger, alcohol, anything that affects your
I'd
mental.
like to chime in. Like, okay, real quick. Like, I wouldn't say anger is not a way not to cope. No, it's not healthy to continue that, but it
I'm
is
talking.
a.
I'm no. I'm
You talking about
my bad for not clarifying. Anger in the eyes of like anger, like physical anger, as far as like
Oh, like abuse and stuff.
fighting,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
retaliation,
Okay. I
revenge,
see.
and
Okay.
depending on the type of situation.
Okay. Go ahead.
But things along those lines, man. Healthy ways of coping are, you know, putting one foot in front of the other. Realistically,
Mhm.
therapy, anything that helps you, helps your mental, helps your everyday life, and helps make your life better. Though you may not feel the best, doing things that make your life better, that's a better way of coping than turning to what's easy to numb the pain. Because you have to understand that though you're numbing the pain, that pain is never going to go away. Because what it is for me now, and while we label this the new norm, I know we've explained it, but just to give y'all like a clear, straight point, this is my new norm. This is our new norm. This is my parents' new norm to lose a son. This is her new norm to lose somebody she was close to, who she looked at as a brother. This is my new norm, losing my brother. This is my cousin's new norm, losing his cousin. And just you don't really have a clear path forward. But if you believe that, hey, things happen for a reason, I will say to meet you again one day. If you live vicariously through those words, and just wake up, live life to the best you can every day. No, you're not going to give 100% every day. I don't believe in that. But long as you feel that you gave your best effort for that day, man, continue, keep it up. If you got up and you took one step, and last week you laid in bed all week, that is progress, man.
Doing a great job.
I don't. I cried. I cry. I cry. You know, to me, crying for me isn't healing, because my cry is filled with anger. I always question, how could my brother let me down? All the talks we had, all the everything. We even talked about suicide before, and like, I wouldn't say it was more so in a joking manner, but it was like, you ain't never. You ain't never gonna leave me. I ain't never gonna leave you. We got each other, and then some. Great support system. Great background, great guidance, and so that's where my anger came from, because it was like, how could you give up not only on me, but give up on your friends, your family? When I say my brother touched each and every single person he met, it's probably 1 million Americans plus in this world, and I think my brother knew 500,000. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yes, man, he was funny, he was loving, and we will insert a clip and a few pictures of him if y'all want to see him. Do feel free, man. Reach out with support tips on what we could try together as far as moving through this process. This is still very new, very fresh for us, man. And we will be responding to comments if y'all have questions and or just want to send condolences, support, anything, man. We will be responding to y'all's comments.
Yeah, like he was saying, the new normal. Like, it's been consistent, like adjustment after adjustment for both of us. Like, you have to understand, um, like big changes, like all, and it's not even just coping like with the loss. Like, think like in September, like I moved away. I had already like lost connection with my family, but I built a family of my own at the last like place that I was at. I was in Arizona, and in September I moved away from them and I came to Texas, and I was here just by myself alone. That was a big change for me. And then the beginning of the year, in the beginning of the year,
Sorry, chat. I pooed it. I did it.
brother.
Told y'all, raw, uncut. We're gonna leave this in too, y'all. It happens. You do it too. You was just sitting on
Yeah,
that
but
toilet.
doing it in the
You,
room
you
is
was just sitting on that. It stinks too. Y'all was just in the toilet every day doing it too.
Yeah, on the toilet.
And it had the echo. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Alright, I lost my train of thought messing with you. Yeah, but it was just like one thing after the other. The beginning of the year, we started looking for a house. All of this is new. Like, we got married in December. That's new. Like, everything. My parents have never owned a house before. That was a new big, like, experience and step for me, and that was stressful and hard. In May, we finally closed on the house. I moved in here and out of my apartment. I was here by myself. He moved all the way from Georgia. Well, sorry, North Carolina, where he had his friends that were basically family and was only 7, 8 hours away from family, all the way to Texas. And then what? It was only honestly like a few weeks that he was here, and then we were hit with that, and we barely adjusted to even living and being like in proximity with each other because we've been long distance damn near our whole relationship, and that's totally different living with somebody like that, like uncut raw for real stuff like that. Like, bro, this is all the time. But it was like that, and then coming back, and it's like adjusting. It's like, okay, we have to go back to work. All of these things, it's like, okay, how do you even do this? And at such a young age, trying to learn how to do and juggle and adjust all of these things can be a lot. It's like overwhelming. Like, it's put a lot of stress on us together, like as a couple. Well, especially being so young, like not knowing a lot about marriage, and just feeling like maybe we really can't support like each other through like this difficult time, because how do you even handle this even just on your own, and then you have to handle it with somebody else as well. And it's like, okay, I don't know how you're feeling. I'm not always going to be able to put how I'm feeling about the situation in words. Like, one day I might just be fucking crying out of nowhere. I don't even know why. It might be something simple, like a small memory. Say something like ranch. Like, that can send somebody into a spiral. Like, and you have to learn, oh, okay, I have to tell somebody about that. I have to tell you about that because you see that. You see me when I don't want to get up and I'm just laying in my room all day. I can't clean up around the house. I can't do anything. Like, it's definitely taking a toll on us, but I feel like therapy, what he was saying, like that, as much as people might be like, what is the word? Like, not necessarily against it, but not very open to the idea. Like, talking to somebody who you don't feel is going to judge you, and you can kind of say everything that you're feeling, they can kind of coax those emotions out of you. Like, that is honestly a very like healthy way to cope and communicate how you're feeling. Like, that is something that I feel like everybody genuinely should experience.
Hold that thought button in.
Mm-hmm.
What I do want to say is, with therapy, we all know the stigma on therapy, right? But every therapist is not gonna be for you.
Mm-hmm.
But the same way you can go, and pick out that favorite bottle of liquor that you like after you done tried 3 or 4 nasty bottles of liquor or that substance of some sort or anything that's not good, you can put that same energy in finding some way of helping you, and trust me, it'll work out in the end. It'll be like, you'll look back on it and you'll be like, dang, I'm glad I did that. No way I would have known that I would have ended up here or been at this part of my life, especially for us young people, man. We're young. We're talking to y'all, we're young, and my brother's thing was he wanted to start a YouTube, and I'm biggest fan, I told him it probably every single day. He filmed the whole video. Put it up, what's the point of being scared, especially nowadays. Social media can take you so far, man. Why not just do it? Like Nike for real. Like, why not do it? Why? My message to y'all, man, is there's always somebody to talk to. One. Secondly, keep your goddamn head up. Like, yeah, shit's gonna go wrong. Shit's gonna happen. Pick up your bootstraps and let's keep chucking, because nobody wants to be broke. Nobody wants to be in certain positions that they're in once it's failure, but everybody wants to be at the top. If you create a balance to where you understand that, hey, I'm not gonna always be here, and I hopefully am not always gonna be here, then you get a different perspective on not only life but on just the small things. Because even with women, our relationship, everybody understands that the small things matter, but apply that to your life. The small things, the always give without the expectance of return. Never claim something as yours that you gave to somebody, or that you purchased for somebody, or that somebody has helped you get, or that somebody, whether it's even knowledge, man. Knowledge is power. If somebody's took their time, if somebody has taken their time to give you this wisdom, man, say thank you. Your old heads, especially for us melanated people, it's always that one old who you feel me, who always got a story for you. But then you look back on it 5-10 years later, you're like, damn, because of that, in those type of situations, those are the small things, those thank yous, those giving that homeless person $1, or that helping the old lady out of Walmart cross the street, or put her groceries in the car. Those will benefit you in your life. Not saying that you're going to come back and get $1 million, but did that not make you happy to make somebody else happy? And another thing I want to focus on throughout this talk is reality. I'm gonna let you lead and I'm gonna follow.
Oh, okay.
I'll just have
Are you
to
talking about? Huh? What you say?
I was saying I'll let you lead.
Yeah, you said something after. Are you talking about reality in comparison to like social media?
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually like when everything happened. I think there's a lot of Twitch streamers, like YouTubers and stuff. Oh my god, did Baloo just move? Y'all, spooky season. Anyways, like really, so social media in comparison to reality, it's very easy to be like, okay, this person is my age, they're around my age, they're doing all of these things, and I'm trying to do these things, and I'm nowhere near where they are. I'm not doing what they're doing, but I want to be doing that. And it's like, okay, you just label yourself as a failure instead of being like, okay, maybe I just need to put in a little bit more. I make it a different way. Be just as successful, more successful than them. But it's like, oh, what is the thing? You see all these Twitch streamers, you see social media, and people show you exactly what they want you to see. Even if people swear that they give you the raw, you'll never really know. People aren't gonna post like, oh, when they're on the edge of, oh, they've lost everything. No, they're gonna show you the positives. Nobody wants to deal with what's that word when people feel bad for you?
Pity?
Yeah. Nobody wants to feel pitied. Like nobody wants to feel like, oh, I'm a failure. Nobody wants to be like, oh, they fell off. Nobody wants those vlogs, those comments. Nobody wants to deal with that. So realistically, these social media people that people look up to, yeah, I get the idea. You could be like, okay, that's a goal that a realistic goal. Be like, hey, I want to make money from YouTube. Not, oh my gosh, I want to make as much money as a freaking Kai Cenat or freaking, what's that other guy you was telling me about the other day? That one weird guy?
The one weird guy.
Yeah, that streamer that's bigger than Kai.
Oh, I Show Speed.
Yeah, be like him, as much money, like doing the crazy shit, going the crazy places that they go to. Like, just set realistic goals. Like, don't be like, okay, don't compare yourself to people you don't know. Realistically, like just keep it at that. Social media is such a big part of everybody's lives. It's such a habit. It's so like consuming. Just separate yourself if you can,
Put
as
the
much
phone
as you
down
can.
sometimes.
Please separate yourself. Like, engage in real things, people, tangible things. Because social media is not that. Social media is a lie. AI, everything going on. Social media is not real. All right.
as well. These are my two C's, and like once you think about it, you know it makes so much sense because especially in today's age with how technology is advancing and how so many different opportunities and windows are opening up for so many different people with minimum effort, man, comparison cripples. And what I mean by that is when you compare your lifestyle, what you have, what they have, you know, it becomes a cripple because not only are you doubting yourself, but you know, you're kind of, you know, in a way, you're kind of hating on somebody else, you know, and but turn the comparison into a question, you know, turn it into some courage. Let's turn the comparison into courage, you know, and with that courage, ask that person, you know, how'd you get here? Not everybody's going to be willing to give that information. Excuse me. But, you know, ask those questions. See how the people who you want to be like or your role models, see what steps they took to get there, you know, and they struggle. You're gonna struggle. You may struggle worse than them, but you know, keep your head up and keep going, you know, and keep trying something until it works. You know, just I think of life like inventions, you know, everything that somebody thought was stupid is now plastic, like cups, like down to every little thing. Pillows, you know, this pillow may be ugly to you.
Exactly.
Who would ever make a sunflower pillow, you know? But I'm saying that to say just, you know, just ask more questions. Try to understand more to be successful. And don't be so envious of those who are already successful and looking for a handout. Life is not a handout. Life is a time clock. Everybody has a clock. Everybody has a time. You just don't know when your time is. So make the best of the time that you have and make the best of the time that you have with those around you, whether they're near or far, man. Like she was saying earlier, reach out. You know, you never know if your one text. So many people don't understand how many check-ins and hey's and I love yous and good mornings save people's lives and save people's days. Not that they're on the edge of their rope and are fixing to commit suicide, but you know, as far as being sad or things not going your way, or in my case being depressed, battling depression, you know, once you have those people who take the extra effort, because one, nowadays everybody is on their phone, you know, everything is at your fingertips. So it's unreal of you to say that you couldn't have took that time to send that text. But what it is people wait till they're in the position to where I'm in, you know, and then it's like, I had nobody to reach out to. But it's like once you had that opportunity, you didn't accept it. You didn't put forth the effort to just send that text or make that call or take your grandma to Walmart, you know, especially our elders, man. Respect your elders, you know, care for those who have been on this earth way longer than you, you know, and spend that time. Laughter is a healing. I'm telling you, surround yourself around somebody who's not only wise, but funny. Who doesn't want to laugh? Like, laughing all day.
Oh,
She, on the other hand, lame. But see, we work because, like, she knows she's not as funny.
I
as
be
me.
making him
Like,
giggle, y'all. I don't know why he's sitting there gaslighting
most
y'all
people
right
literally,
now.
they. My name is Kevin Outlaw, but some people are like Kevin Hart. I'd be like,
Oh,
you know, like
no, you
we get it, we
You're
got it, but nah, I'm just
sick,
Kalen.
brother.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little delulu, but hey.
Y'all, nobody has ever said that to him. He is not that funny.
Oh.
Yeah, I gotta keep him humble the way he be shitting on me, y'all. I'm lame. I be making him giggle. Yeah, don't let me finish that sentence.
Oh, his jaws.
I guess he gonna finish it for me.
That's all she was gonna say.
Yeah,
y'all.
whatever.
I didn't want to leave y'all alone.
I'm funny as hell.
What she did just then, she just edged y'all. It's okay. I got y'all though.
That's okay. You see how we be finishing each other's sentences? That's why we work. Side-eyeing is insane. Oh, I just want to speak on. Oh, I want to go back to the fact what he was saying about coping. So, honestly, I have literally never, ever. Well, I lost my great grandma. I was a literal baby, and she was sick. So I'm like, yeah, that was, but it wasn't life changing, you know.
Pause real quick. Those deaths are a little easier to accept
Little bit,
once you can prepare.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're not really doing a lot of preparing as a child, but when you have that thing and you think about it, you're like, oh my God, there's not anything crazy that you have to sit and struggle and battle with because you're like, she was very sick. She was in a bed literally a majority of the time that I knew her. Like, she was sick. So I've literally really never experienced a death. So even now, I'm not coping, but before I really did not know how to cope. Like breakdown, like I couldn't work, couldn't think, like at all. Like I couldn't even distract myself and get to the point where I'm like, okay, where I can kind of keep my mind off of those things. It was actually like just like thinking myself into a hole with all of the guilt and the way I felt, like all of the regrets I had about like where our relationship was and like, oh, could I have done this? Like it's like those things. It's like, oh, should I have listened more? It's like it's honestly very, very important. Yeah, talking can help some people, but you have to find things honestly. There's no real way to like no there's no real way like to make you feel better about the situation, to make it any easier to handle or deal with. It's like so you just kind of have to ease your way back into things. Like as weird and as hard as it may be, like our thing, like I honestly I love making things. Like I can be a very creative person. I love honestly making stuff for him and like his mom, realistically, like our family. I'm like I love making stuff like that for people, and I'm like okay, so honestly it was very difficult for me to get back into those things, to even touch them, to even be happy enough or be like inspired enough to even want to go in my craft room. But I'm like one of the things that he did or show the way he showed up for me, like he got me little like gift baskets and stuff. And one of the things that our grief therapist had recommended was journaling. And honestly, it can be, hey, journal and write to that person like you're talking to them. But honestly, it's very hard to get to that point so soon and be like, okay, I'm talking to this person, they're not gonna talk back. So I'm like, once I was able to get back into my crafts and stuff, I started making stuff for Devin, and that helped a little bit. It was nice, like, okay, I want you to know that I'm not forgetting about you. These things, like to immortalize him. Does that right? Does that sound right?
What are you trying to?
I'm like to like let him live on and like the things we do, or like immortalize. Whatever, y'all. We incorporate. I try to incorporate a lot of stuff that I do or make, especially like for him. Like I incorporate Devin, like his favorite color, like everything into it. But another thing that he did, our puppy. I think y'all saw him earlier in our mukbang. Our puppy is our puppy, but I think the intention behind it was to give me somewhere to put like all of the love that I had for Devin, that we had for Devin, into something that we can take care of and kind of focus on and love. Like he's even named kind of after Devin. Like that I feel like that has helped a little bit with our coping process. Just a tiny bit. I'm not saying go jump and buy a dog, but I'm just like, a companion. Like especially if you're by yourself, like even like we're together. I told you like that honestly it put a gap between us. So it's like that helped us bond. It brought us a little closer. It gave us something to kind of like relate and connect to when we felt like we couldn't relate and connect to each other. So just think about things like that. Something to care for, especially if you lose somebody like that. Like that is traumatic and very hard. And you do like what do they say? They say grief is love with nowhere to go. So honestly, finding something to take care of, if you can't think about taking care of yourself in that moment, like that's not a horrible way to go. But that doesn't mean neglect taking care of yourself either. It's very easy to do.
Sorry.
Okay.
Over here. If y'all do see me over here, you know we do have our little guide for our topics, and we are gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap this up because we're gonna break this down into episodes because we do have a lot to unpack, man. We have at least 4 to 5 more episodes coming for y'all. So, man, we just ask that y'all tap in, man. Y'all listen to us, man. Listen to somebody your age, you know, who's telling you that, hey, this is a road we're currently going down. I'm currently battling depression. You know, she's currently trying to support me through that depression, though she may be depressed as well, you know. So just hold each other closer, you know. Choose your words wisely. Respect each other. Love each other, you know. Every day is not going to be a good day. Every day is not going to be a day that you want to wake up and smile, but through that smile, understand that yes, it came pain, but in the end, you know, you will prevail. And any last words from you?
I know you kind of talked about like why we're doing, like why we named the podcast A New Normal, but like in case we didn't specifically say, I think we want to bring like awareness to the realities of like suicide and mental health, and especially in like this economy, like how much harder it feels like things are for us, which no, I don't feel like it is. We don't feel like it is. I just feel like now we've just got it in our head that it's like, okay, there's a way out. Instead of working through it, it's like, okay, I feel like before there was a mindset where it was like, okay, I got no choice but to deal with this. But now it's just like, okay, this is hard and I don't want to have to deal with it anymore. So it's like, I feel like we really just want to bring awareness into the ways that really can affect the people that you love. Even though it might seem like, oh, hey, if that's what makes you happy, do it. No. Don't do that. No. I'm like, people say those, hey, stay another day. Like, find a show to watch and finish it. Then start another show. Like, there's a lot of ways people try to encourage people to stay, but I think our things, we just want to kind of, if you are dealing with something like that, even on the side where you're the one contemplating suicide, like maybe this will like uplift you and kind of, hey, it's really not that bad, and put you into a different mindset to where you're not, because hey, you might do something like that, maybe that just leads to the same outcome for somebody who loved you and was close to you and who you meant the world to. Like, that's not fair at all. So I feel like that's really why we want to do this. So that's all I gotta say.
We're gonna let that be said, and we're gonna let it be done, man. We are going to, once we get on the schedule, this is our very first podcast, our very first shooting. We're gonna get on the schedule, and we're going to try to drop, if not every other week, one of these episodes that we shoot. We are definitely gonna do probably once a month, if possible. So definitely y'all boys put in y'all input, and or girls, my fault. Put in y'all's input. Let us know what y'all like to hear us talk about. Give us some topics, man. Real world topics. We want to talk about real world things, no politics, but real world topics as far as the everyday struggle for new adults and or adults who don't really see a way forward, man. And y'all boys, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It's your boy Kalen, and next to me I have my beautiful beloved wife,
Zoe B.
And at the same time, this is the new norm. And we are out.